We're going to be reacting to the new Halloween, new game mechanics revealed. I'm reacting to this a bit later than other people, but been busy. And the day I was going to react to it, I had barely any sleep, so there was no chance I could give you like a proper react. So let's see what they say. This is just an introduction. I might pass this. We'll see. Let's just see. I don't know what to expect.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first pre-launch stream for Halloween the Game. My name is Miles Dompierre. I'm the social media manager over here at IllFonic, and today I'm stoked to be joined by Jordan Mathewson, game director over here at IllFonic.
Design director. You
Design
got
director.
the title wrong. On the... Apparently, it's because I didn't update my Slack, so it's kind of on me. But yes, I'm Jordan, wow. Design director. Hello.
Jordan, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday, my dude?
I mean, we're in the first step in just establishing a nice, connection.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you feeling tired yet? Or...
Okay, well, that's a introduction.
And last but
okay, so the agenda.
Talking be diving exciting. Want to touch on a lot of things you can look forward to with Halloween the Game. So we do have a pretty exciting stream lined up for you today.
All vodka.
Here's a breakdown.
Told you I'm a
of the
heavyweight,
event,
man.
Agenda. We're going to be diving into single player. We're going to be touching on the Heroes of Haddonfield. We're going to be talking about some alternate costumes.
Son of K, how you doing?
I don't care too much about that. Multiplayer, maps, meta unlocks, Michael versus civilians,
and a bit of a Q&A.
But certainly not least, our community Q&A. So a lot of stuff.
That's how we're doing. Tough shit.
And we're excited to have you with us. So we unveiled Halloween
yeah, I'm
as
good.
a single player and multiplayer horror experience. So I think we should kick things off today by diving into the single player component of this game.
Do I care about the single player?
We've given...
Obviously, I'm going to be pausing because I do. There's some people, when I do reacts, there's some people being like, why are you pausing? It's like, it's a react. I'm reacting to it. Like, if you just want to watch the whole thing, you can watch the whole thing. Do I care about the single player though? I'll have a little look, see if it intrigues me, but it most likely won't. I know that people want to or are happy about it. That's cool or whatever.
An official trailer for our single player story mode. But this is essentially,
and it feels like they're taking resources away from the
reimagined alternate extended cut that allows players to experience the night Michael came home from his perspective. And so we're really excited about that. And Jordan, for players diving into this for the very first time,
it was getting to great cost.
Single player story mode.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really enjoyable to work with Pollard Studio to construct this. It's always been a big, important part of what we want to accomplish with this game, because we realize how important this story mode is to a lot of people, just to get that sense of what we can explore, but as well give people an opportunity to really get used to and understand the nuances of playing Michael Myers. So we have 6 chapters set up. A lot of this stuff we have, like you had mentioned, we had written up a good hub post that really dove into some of this.
6 chapters.
Some of the other things, sitting down with the 6 chapters.
Green, it'll only last about an hour. Fucking hell. It'll only last about a year, I think.
Idea of what they're going to look like as you go through that tell the story.
Hopefully not though. Hopefully I'm wrong, but the variety would be hard to keep adding.
Discoveries are
that's the issue.
Of the original
because it could be amazing to play,
a lot of fun piecing that
but
together.
if it keeps being the same thing that you've already played, it starts just becoming boring, right? That's why you need to add more maps, you need to add more mechanics.
Different aspects of playing Michael, and
that's the only way you can really make something
that
live.
are really helpful to learn early on before you jump into the multiplayer.
So, Friday the 13th, I think it only lasts about a year, Cav, didn't it?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, you're good.
Okay, sorry. Each time players are in these chapters, they play through various objectives. They're mostly centered around killing these residents of Haddonfield while approaching towards the final movies the final scenes from the film with the babysitters.
The door throwing thing.
Some open-ended moments that allow you to explore in a bit more depth and discover everything that each of these places has to offer, including some story-based collectibles and other little things. So
single player didn't grab me, man. It's just repeating the same scene. I know he's talking about it, but I don't care that much about single player. I just don't.
It's just features in the single player story mode. Our single player story mode also features our cast of new,
Okay.
original, and returning legacy characters.
So this will
They
be
will be featured
branching
in here.
with the multiplayer
And I did
as
want to
well.
give a quick recap for those unaware of the amount of characters that we've showcased so far.
Mhm.
But earlier this year, we started kind of introducing our community to these civilians, starting with the heroes of Haddonfield here. We have Tanya Harrison on the left, Rachel Callahan, Thomas Armitage,
So these are all new, are they?
Jennifer Aarons, and Marcus Navarro.
Aku,
that,
I am amazing, thank you. How you doing?
We introduced players to our boy Eric Dunn, the loyal Nichols Hardware employee ahead of our single-player trailer.
Right.
And most recently, we confirmed that Bob Sims, Linda Vanderklok, Laurie Strode, and Annie Brackett
Oh,
will
Laurie
also
Strode, I
be
know.
heading to this game with some exciting reimagined designs. So we have 10 playable characters confirmed for the standard edition on day one, which is pretty awesome. All 10 of
Right.
these characters will be featured in the game's single-player story mode.
Right.
And if you splurge and get the digital deluxe edition, we have also confirmed that Richard Hawthorne and Alexis Purcell will be available on day one as well, bringing that roster to 12. 12 characters. Jordan.
Interesting. So even at the very start, you have to pay more to have more characters. Okay. I wonder if the characters have like massive differences.
That's a lot of characters here. What are the team's hopes and goals with launching the game with this roster?
Well, there's definitely kind of two approaches. Like, obviously, when we
In-game
first started the
currency.
project, we realized how crucial this was as part of this type of experience. We've always seen there's been a deep connection between horror fans and just the victims of these films, and it makes sense. And there's a lot of just things you can take from the charisma and personality. So it's something where we really wanted to expand all these characters and make sure that they're fully voiced and have these backstories as far as who they are, what their personalities are, what they would act like, so that we could then build off of that for what their
Abilities are, perks.
options are for cosmetics that we'll obviously get into, as well as what they're doing in the single player, where they are, what they're up to at any given point when Michael's encountering them. So it's something that was really exciting to expand on.
Oh yeah,
already
Alan?
kind of list of legacy characters into something where we made more of these
Phoenix, it's nothing like
1978
DBD.
people that live in this town of Haddonfield. So it was very exciting to craft that, as well as then go into
Asymmetrical
detail
games
of
aren't
all the
equal
gameplay
DBD.
aspects, which there's so much more to.
It's like Friday the 13th.
We'll dive into over time, but we've already mentioned character
The Saw
traits, the little things.
I mean,
that give
I'll
them
give it a look.
uniqueness
I've
over
heard
each
some bad
other
things from
and
the
what
Saw
they're
game,
doing,
but
as
I'll
well
still
as
check it.
attributes that are built towards the characters themselves.
DVD
and
killer.
kind of wanna just kind of
I mean,
you
will
look at
for
the
a bit.
gameplay and
Everyone on
you
DVD will
see what's
move to
happening
this
and
game
see
most
all
likely.
the places and guess kind of the direction each of these characters are going to go
For like a week or so.
when someone excels at repairing things, or someone excels at just talking to people and interacting. Some people might not excel at those things, so we really want to do a nice push and pull.
I'm
that
curious
also
what the
gave
ones we have to pay
characters
more
people can
for
connect with
do.
and have fun with, because part of this is a very social game. It's about interacting with each other. It's about interacting with other people, and then ultimately watching these people die. And sometimes those screams are just a little bit more enjoyable when you know the people that are behind them.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things about this game, is just running through the streets of Haddonfield and then just hearing a scream in the distance and then wondering whether or not, like, oh no, is that my squad mate? Somebody I love is getting murdered right now.
It's eerie, but it's so crucial to that experience, and I've loved it so far.
A social game,
I'm
Among
glad
Us
you
God.
reiterated on that, because we have touched on the fact that there will be unique reasons from a gameplay standpoint to choose these characters. But as you touched on, we also understand that people really connect to the looks and
Killing
the
did
personalities
flaw.
of
We'll
these
see,
characters. So I
Jess. We'll
think
see.
that combination of the story
It
mode
shows a lot of
into
potential.
multiplayer will really give a great
Ironically,
view of, like,
there's
who
more
these
people watching
are,
Kill It In than
and
For
give
Honor right
players
now.
opportunities to get in there and role play their own little horror movies.
So there's still interest there.
So one thing we haven't really touched on at this stage is we have introduced you to these 10 and 12 civilian characters, but
Mhm.
we've only shown you their default multiplayer appearances, which means we haven't really shown the community how they look in the single player story mode, which is notably different. Jordan, what do you think? Should we show off some of these alternate looks
So
for these characters?
are these just looks
You're
that
gonna
you can get from
do it
multiplayer?
without my approval.
You're damn right. So first up, we have Rachel Callahan in all her goth glory here. Oh yeah, I mean I know Rachel is a fan favorite.
Thank you.
You want to
Was
be,
it
gravitated towards Rachel, and
26 a month?
I
Thank
get
you,
it,
man.
She is awesome.
Scat
Up
pack for
next, we
the
have
follow as well.
Marcus Navarro strutting his. Ooh, look at that! His badass biker gear. He's looking good. He's got the tore up jeans. Stoked about that. And last but certainly not least, we have an iconic movie look for Annie here.
Some of you might know this more
Look
if
at
you
that!
like
Look at that
proper
shawl.
watching.
Look at that shawl.
like loads of the
So,
Halloweens
yeah.
and stuff.
We are very excited about the customization, the
Look at that
alternate outfits,
shawl.
all the ways players can express themselves.
Thank you,
in
Uwu. Hopefully you
Halloween
are as well,
game.
man.
One thing I wanted to kind of touch base with the community on is kind of like our approach, considering the fact that we are in Halloween 1. Things are based on the original film. That means we're set in the 70s. What's our team's approach to respecting that period, respecting the IP, but also giving players,
That
freedom
was pretty good.
to dress as they wish?
Yeah, I mean that's a
The
big
designer
part
said he
of
hopes the game will be
just these
played
characters in
casually.
general,
They say that
is
all the
trying to
time. It
find
don't make any
and
sense.
Exist in a realm of reality of this
Like
Haddonfield,
we compare like
back in 1978.
regarding that, if he does say it or he did say it and I missed it, it's like they don't understand that as humans, we are very competitive. If you create a game where it's humans versus humans, there's going to be people who treat it competitively. Like it's what we do as humans. And you being like, I hope you just played casually. It doesn't work. Like like day one, well maybe not day one, but people are going to be like X amount of escapes in a row, X amount of wins in a row. That's competitive. Like there's gonna be metas. Like we're competitive as humans. They need to stop fighting against it. They did it with TCM as well. Like we hope it's casual. It's like humans are competitive.
Well, really
You
leaning
can't just
into what
hope something's
makes each of
casual. It doesn't
these,
work.
Backstories unique. What kind of things are they up to on a daily basis, and kind of emulated. in the
Especially a
same way we
PvP
see
game.
The babysitters from
If
the
it's
movie
it's
and
single
kind of what
player,
they're
yeah,
up to. So
possibly. Even though the
we wanted to lean
speedrunners who
into
make it
that,
competitive.
But also we've got a lot of effort
Can't make
into
a
making
casual
sure that
multiplayer
everything
game. No.
aligns,
It's always gonna be competitive.
in a grounded space around
it's
this
so
time
naive.
period. But there's also just expression, and we want to make sure that there's a very nice balance that moving forward, and everything that you'll see moving forward in the other outfits. This is obviously just a taste, where other characters will get similar. So it's gonna be fun, and a lot of the things that we'll put.
The graphics
will make
looking nice
sense
and
for the
polished, which I
characters to
expected.
wear
Like, it's got like a
in the
polished
time
look to
frame
it
and
for sure.
period.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked like what the scope of customization is, so we did want to touch on the things that you can customize. So obviously there will be alternate outfits. You'll also be able to customize civilians' hair.
Do you get to do this without paying for it? Is this coming with the game that you already pay for? I wonder. Do you unlock it? That'd be cool, like unlocking it. So you get it in game, but you have to play the game.
Their eyewear and their makeup and blemishes as well, which is very
We got
exciting.
you
So, in addition to these
MS6.
looks, there are multiple looks for all the civilians the players can chase down, which is exciting. So you will have a lot of opportunities to really change the way these characters look in really meaningful ways.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just all about the civilians, all right? We got our boy Michael, the star of the show, arguably, and we did want to touch on some of the ways you can customize the appearance of Michael Myers. We have shown smaller glimpses of these skins,
Okay.
but we have a look at 2 cosmetics that you can earn in game for Michael Myers. Right here we have the Sam Hain Michael, looking badass and ready for bloodshed here, and then we also have little clown Michael, all grown up.
Interesting.
So yeah, there's going to be ways. Again, Michael has a very iconic look. That mask is legendary, but there are going to be some really cool things that you can chase down.
One thing which even though this looks kind of goofy, it actually shows that they might have more creative freedom. And if they do have quite a lot of creative freedom, it means that they potentially can push it more, right? They can give it more content over time, because I think that's one of the big issues with pure license games. They don't seem to have as much freedom, so they're more restricted. There's less content being pushed, etc. Seeing that they're already doing this like at the very, very start, maybe they have a bit more creative freedom, right? Maybe they're being a bit more lax, because just allowing them to turn Myers into a clown like that's been quite lax. Would you say? I think that's been quite lax. I think it's going to how you feel. I mean, technically, all games kind of are to an extent. I don't know if it's going to last longer than a year, but as I said, a year's still long, and I do think it's going to be really fun at the start.
You know, I hate to
I
be
really
a
do.
tease, but we do have some looks I think fans of the original film are going to be incredibly stoked about at launch. So look forward to more. Unfortunately,
really,
for some
as a
of that, we're
kid,
not really going to show you. So
he killed in his clown
I'm just going to
costume.
tease
Really?
you for now.
I don't know about that.
Before we dive into the multiplayer segment, I did want to call out that we will
Saw
be
the first
touching on
movie.
some
Oh,
of the
okay.
other items that players
So they
can
are still
unlock and
using
earn
stuff from his
outside
lore.
of alternate
Never mind,
outfits in the
scratch what I
stream as
said then.
well. So stick around. But for now,
Multiplayer, cool.
let's talk some multiplayer. We've shown off all the amazing looks you can bring.
So I've
into
worked out
multiplayer,
quite a bit
but
here.
I think it's important we dive into the core multiplayer mode for multiplayer. But I think it's important we dive into
Saw, baseball, and a brick. Interesting. That's reminding me of Killer Clowns a bit. You can throw stuff at him. Could you do that with Friday the 13th? So when he's grabbing someone, you can literally just throw something and it stops his grapple. You really need to be careful with these grabs, don't you? How strong are the civilians going to be when they're together? They need to have something. Oh god, what would they do? If everyone's just following each other in a pack and they all have like baseballs and these, how are you going to deal with that as Myers, I wonder? What do you think? How would you deal with that as Myers? Like, they must have thought of a way, you'd think. A baseball stopping Myers, yeah. It looks like it, doesn't it? Let's see. Does he like... It cuts out too quick, so I don't know if it wiggles off.
the core.
Oh, no, it does. He
you can
it
bring into
literally gets
multiplayer,
stunned.
But I think it's important we dive into the core multiplayer mode for Halloween the game. And we've dropped a multiplayer overview, and we did our best to kind of showcase what makes this game unique and special. But there are so many pieces to this game, Jordan, that I feel like you really need to hammer on, you know, what's the unique hook with Halloween the game as a studio that's been in the asymmetrical horror space for quite some time now.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of being able to explore this genre more, because the asymmetrical games that we've made and the asymmetrical games that exist, I feel more because the asymmetrical games that we've
Show grab executions.
made and the asymmetrical being able to explore this genre more because the asymmetrical game.
So when she gets grabbed here, this pops up. And it's a bar of some kind. Is that...
We've made...
It moved up. What does this mean?
In the asymmetrical games that exist, I feel it's really just scratching the surface and the opportunities that there are there, especially with just the capabilities of our time now and the technology. There's just so much more to explore. So it's been
Kill it in?
very
No,
fun
Helen.
to
Friday the
really
13th,
lean
man.
into.
You don't need to
all
compare
the
it to anything
pieces
other than
that
Friday
we've
the
learned
13th.
in the past.
It's
that
using the same
we've
framework.
Designed and structured this game
It's more
around
polished.
to make it unique. I believe that we designed and structured this
So they're all that, but then all of a sudden
game around to make it unique.
these three become something else. Okay. Are they just the playable ones?
Unique. I believe what we've done with Michael and who he is as a killer role in this is so impactful to what this game offers, and the abilities, the shape jump obviously being a huge one, is
Yeah.
being able to give players the opportunity to be the drivers of jump scares, and being able to sneak up and truly surprise and freak people out. It's something that happened very early on as
Stalking.
a goal for us to establish, but we really worked hard to make sure that when we went to PAX and we started actually seeing people dive in, that we were witnessing it, and it came forward there too. And the people
Fully
that have
stalked
seen a lot
resident.
of the footage of just more shit, it came forward there.
Bloodlust tier 1 reach. So by stalking, you get this. I wonder if this gets rid of. I can't remember. You unlock...
too, and the people that have seen a lot of the footage.
You unlock more things, don't you? As your blood stalker, whatever it's called. What was it called?
Seen it, and it came forward there.
Bloodthirst. As your bloodthirst tiers go up, you unlock
Too,
more
and the people
things.
that have seen a lot of the footage of just more shape jump, you start to see where it becomes a very skilled, unique process to get it in and around and in front of people around them, getting to different places to stalk. It just creates a very unique experience that is constantly driving forward the tension of the match. And we just continue in play the tension of the match, and we've just...
See, she could be running. I wonder if they have the trip mechanic they used to have. Like one nice thing they could do, especially if they're running faster than Myers, and I think they had it on Friday the 13th, but I don't know if they had it in this way, but I just thought of it now. When you're on lower health, the chance of you tripping is increased, right? So if you're trying to run away and you're on this health, you're going to trip more consistently, allowing it to catch up. So even when you are on lower health, you still have that kind of detriment, right? So it makes sense. But if you're on full health, you never trip. So never trip. Like trip a bit. Well, trip like, I don't know, X%, 10%, let's just say. 30%, and then like 60%, right? That would kind of be a nice mechanic. I don't know if they do that, but that would be nice, I think. Because then it gives you benefit of them being that. Because if they're just on 1 and they're on full stamina, it's essentially them just being on 4 and full stamina, in it. Pretty much. Obviously, you could hit them and then they're dead, but if they can run faster than you, it's kind of the same scenario. I don't know.
We just
Think
continue
it out
in
loud.
playtest to see these amazing moments take place.
I was also
And
the tripping,
they're
though.
never quite the same because of then the additional layers of this sandbox as a whole.
I like this kind of. This is really strong.
Enters this entire new realm of possibility that gives
Gonna
players
wait
more
before
to
you buy the
feed
game
on as
when it comes
far
out.
as just boosting.
Well, I
them
mean,
and
I'll be sure with it.
approaching them in a way that they're now,
but be warned, I can make games. I can make them look really good. But usually they have to be quite good for me to make them look good, right? Because I'm pretty sure we'll make this game look good. Like we'll do some really cool shit with Myers. I know we will.
beefing you up to fight on and score more points and wreak more havoc in Haddonfield, but they're also very much reactive to both sides. So there's a lot.
I have no idea.
Where you're saving NPCs and trying to stay connected with them to get them out of the maps, while Michael is chasing you all down and breaking you up and catching your friends. And there's just so much uniqueness that comes from that combination. And like you said, there's a cocktail of just so many other things that just add those layers upon layers of possibility to encounters. So it becomes a nice consistent loop that also evolves expands into a lot of different crazy
nothing new yet.
So there's so much there that's been happening and that will continue to happen. So there's so much there that's been happening and that will continue to happen once we go live. And I'm so excited to see all the different things people do and all the different ways that we can continue to improve this even.
Oh, I'll show you the powers of Myers for sure.
Fun to continue this asymmetrical genre forward, and I look forward to.
Some people normally play. Can they show them what normal plays? Well, they're going to be doing like set pieces on it. You'll see normal gameplay when I play.
Exploring even more of what that means. Yeah, I think that's the biggest things right there.
I don't know if
and
that's
I think for us, the proof of concept has been a lot of our internal playtests where we have people who've played for hundreds and hundreds of hours getting in there and scaring each other and having those moments where Michael just gets the jump on you. You're doing something else. You feel that moment of safety
Yeah,
and
yeah.
security, and then that
100% I believe that, because they've got the mechanic where he can spawn out of sight. Like, that mechanic does that. So 100% he'll get you off guard.
shifts, and he's just there. And
This the thing what I'm kind of like getting a bit of a red
feel
flag
that
on
moment of safety and
is
security.
it seems really easy when there's two survivors next to each other to just stop Myers from getting any grab.
And then that shifts, and he's just there. And being able to jump after so much playtime is just such a testament to that foundation that we built here. And I think our sandbox elements really kind of add a lot of rich layers that let players choose how they want to play this game. And there's been so many moments in our playtests where just absolute chaos ensues with the group, and Michael enters the scene. Everyone scatters, whether it's on a bike, whether it's on a car, and there's just so much pandemonium. Just
Why did they scatter? That's what I need to know. Like, them all keeping together, why is that a detriment to them? Once I work that out, then it'll make sense. You could have it where if there's more survivors near each other, Myers is buffed in somehow, like he does more damage. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I'm kind of curious.
It's like quintessential classic horror movie moments, and that's the stuff I'm so stoked to see when
Because they need to make it where there's an incentive for survivors to be alone, right? But obviously there isn't incentive, because when they're alone, they can get grabbed and killed instantly. So why would survivors want to be alone? What do you think, guys? Why would survivors want to be alone? What would you do to make it where survivors need to be alone? That's where my head's at. Maybe being alone makes my stalk less. Maybe. You could have it where when they're together, Myers is stronger. You could have it where the objectives they need to do cannot physically be completed if they all follow each other, so they need to split up to do them in a timely manner. You could have it like that. There is ways you can do it. I'm just curious how they're going to do it, or if they're even going to talk about it, because it seems like kind of an important thing, no?
out in the wild.
I agree.
Could be an objective thing.
So some other outside of the core multiplayer experience, outside of matchmaking, I do want to just kind of quickly rattle through some and confirm some features. Some of these we've already touched on previously, but outside of match.
So look, even alone, you can stop a grab. It's really making me look like it's bad to grab with Myers, which is reminding me of Friday the 13th. It was actually more efficient to just hit them with the axe, if I remember correctly. Like just hit them instead of grab them, because then they can't use the DS, they can't wiggle out, they can't have someone like knock you out of it. Just going for the attacks, which I don't want, because it's cool doing the animations and stuff. So I hope they do make animations make more sense to use.
Thank you. I've got his watching tab.
Ghost Freak, 40 months. Different objective people, like they each need to save their own people. Yeah, something like that maybe. Hopefully they've thought about this angle.
Making, you will be able to load into private matches with up to 5 players.
That one's funny. We saw that before. The way she stabs it, she like throws it into like a ninja, like a ninja technique, like straight into the eye.
But outside of matchmaking, you will be able to load
Cool.
into private matches with up to 5 players. Play with your friends. We are going to allow duplicate civilians, so don't worry if someone chooses your main. Even though we do have a pretty robust roster, if you want to stack that lobby, that's fine. We're going to allow duplicates, which is awesome.
So that's going to create a meta then. There'll be certain people who are stronger. There always will be. It's always a thing. Or certain, like, 2 people. So, like, it's out of 4 people in it.
You get to give that months, and thank you. I've got his watching tab.
Josh appreciate the 18 months. So you could have like 2 of the same person, like the best at, like, I don't know, stealth, the best at kind of like strength or something.
And we will also have an in-games friends list and crossplay for this as well. I did want to call out cross progression because we've had some questions about that. We don't currently have plans for cross progression, but there will be cross.
Why? Why not just do that?
Play available on all platforms. Jordan, anything else we want to touch on in multiplayer?
I think, yeah, last thing, just to acknowledge and say the queuing. We understand there's importance around addressing that, and we will talk about it at a later date, closer to launch, because we know that it obviously is a big part of how people play these games, and we've been just gathering a lot of that experience and just making sure we're getting the right thing there. And I want to make sure we have that all in a good spot to
Oh
get
yeah. The
details and really
duplicate
walk
things
through
will
it so
buff
people are
the
very
Survivor, of course.
much aligned with it. But then additionally, we want to make sure that we're not splitting up parties. I think that's just kind of something that's kind of in tandem there that I think is good to call out for that situation.
Yeah, and that is very important. If a squad,
It'd be like on TCM. TCM you couldn't duplicate, could you? So it'd be like on TCM where, you could have multiple that guy who can fix things quickly. You just have a whole team of them, right? Whatever he was called. You know that guy who came out. I can't remember because I weren't playing then. But there were a guy who could like fix things really quickly by remembering something. I can't remember what it were. Free bubbers. No, not Con. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. You could just have multiple Connies who can just lockpick everything. So you can see like having multiple of something can be super broken. If you had multiple of the same character on TCM. Wait, could you have multiple of the same character on TCM? Now I'm questioning myself. Could you? You couldn't, could you? I'm pretty sure you couldn't. No, okay. Yeah, if you had multiple Connies, that would be insane, right? Because you'd just be lockpicking everywhere. So it's definitely it's a risk doing that. It depends how they design the survivors, I guess.
groups together, they don't have to worry about being separated in the matchmaking pool, which is I know very important for a
The
lot
kill
of
will be
people.
like Friday the 13th. We can't just cute as
appreciate you
Myers if we're
touching on that, and
random.
like you said,
Yeah, well, this is what I've said. The big downside, the big downfall of this game will be in the matchmaking. It'll be in the matchmaking and the network. That's usually where the issues are. And obviously the longevity, but the longevity still might be a year, so it's quite a long time still.
as we get closer to launch, we'll have some more details to share on
So
specifically.
I'd say the
what
network
looks
and the
like.
matchmaking.
All right, so in addition to 12 playable civilian characters, we've also shown 3 distinct maps
Meta unlocks.
that all your multiplayer shenanigans will unfold in.
So starting with
and
3
that
maps.
all started with Haddonfield Heights, the quiet suburban neighborhood, which is home
Danny,
to
that
the
was
Myers
it.
house and the Strode
Yeah,
house.
Danny. You could have Danny's and Connie's.
We have
Camper
Haddonfield
and stuff.
Town Center, which is home to Nichols Hardware and the bustling cultural downtown of Haddonfield. And we also have Orange Grove Estates, which is the upscale neighborhood home to the Wallace and Doyle residences. So,
Okay.
Jordan, outside of unique visual flavor, how are we ensuring that each of these maps look and feel distinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been something that has been a big improvement part on it, like something we've really driven to.
How many maps did Friday the
expand on for
13th
this
have? Was
game.
it 2?
There's
Or was it 1? Can't remember.
kind of a fundamental starting point of we need to build Haddonfield from 1978. There is
I think it might be
there's
1.
a guiding light there as far as what we were trying to accomplish, but that's from an aesthetic point.
Was it 2?
also comes into the gameplay in a sense that
Did it
a
have
lot
3 or
of the
4?
things
Wow.
that we're designing from the sandbox perspective is trying to think about the possibilities of what it's like to actually run around a neighborhood. There's a lot of times from my childhood I can remember, I wasn't alive in the 70s, but I did have time when I was growing up where there's, I lived in the Midwest. I was very familiar with just the culture
the
of
orgy
being
music's in the
outside
game.
and getting in trouble and being a pyromaniac with fireworks and various things that I got
Free
up
maps
to.
is a
I
good
wanted
start,
to
it's
make
still
sure that we were
massive.
recreating what it felt like to do that.
Free
Which
maps
then in
isn't too
turn
bad
had
to start
to
with.
make sure
But
that
it's all
the
about
look,
are they going to add
the
more?
spacing, the feel of the actual neighborhood needs to make sense as we expand into more commercially kind of influenced areas. Like all these pieces need to fit what would exist in Illinois in the 70s. And then as we looked at that and got kind of that really good sense of the types of locations, it was about really breaking down the types of structures, because the types of structures are a big part of the gameplay. There's, once you look at it, there's obviously a very big difference between external outside gameplay and internal.
Looks like you're gonna have to pay for the
gameplay.
skins.
So each of these maps has different types of structures. Some of them have houses. There's varying degrees of single story. There's second story houses. There's bigger commercial buildings. There's other types of places that just create different types of situations, but ultimately have the same gameplay elements. So we've been able to really shuffle around and build unique spacing and locations while using a lot of the same aspects that make it feel like a neighborhood, but also leveraging things like I mentioned. Second story houses is it's a huge thing for gameplay, because
New
now
build,
you've
same
got a
play
whole
style. Yeah, I mean,
dynamic
they
where
can't do
there
too
is
much
a
more.
second story window you can jump out of, or a balcony you can leap off
So you
of.
lose. So that's like
creates
Friday the 13th,
a final
right?
moment of, this is gonna hurt, but at least I breathe another few seconds. So that in between the different spacing, there's car densities, there's hedges, fences, foliage, roads, street lights. The lighting is obviously a big portion, just because of the fact
What's my
that
false
Mike
identity
relies on,
V?
that is obviously
It's just a mobile game. It
bad
don't
thing
grab
for
me.
his traversal, and in portions where
It'd be
he's
cool
trying
if they
to
did like
navigate through that,
a
lit up areas are
remake for
much more
PC
difficult to
Identity
navigate.
V.
So
Could
there's
be
definitely
interesting.
a size difference amongst these different maps, as well as just spacing and kind of layout differences that make
Get to free yourself
a
our top
really
4 windows
unique
again.
approach
That could be
to
like
it each
almost a
time
meta, couldn't it?
that is additionally
Like
flavor.
say if you, I wonder if there's a healer in it, but let's say if you get med kits, you go to the very, very top, Myers goes up with you, you jump out the window, he's gonna have to go all the way back down again, innit? But he does have the vanish. I don't know how much of a cooldown that vanish has.
With the visual aspects that make these locations different each time. So it's very, very fun to be able to have this type of variety, so that each time you're playing, there's a lot to explore and learn about these. It's not going to be something you're gonna, there's map knowledge that needs to be learned from where you need to go and where you can get through fences.
That's
and
true
where
as
the
well,
nearest
Shira,
phone location is going to be. There's just a lot of little things like that on
Physical
top of the fact that
copy.
we have randomized
Physical
a lot of
copy
gameplay,
on bloody
throughout that as well, to
2026
just further
PS5.
increase the just feel that these are different each time you
Not
play
in my
them.
world.
So hopefully that kind of boils down to what we're looking at, but that's how I see these from what we've developed.
Yeah, I know the team was very excited to reveal Orange Grove Estates because there's some really great verticality to that map. Not only the multi-story houses, but as you can tell in that fly-through, there is
Yeah,
this
no,
big
Gav.
hill in one section of the map that overlooks the lower section, and it's
You'll
got
be
this
the
great
healer on this
flow
one, yeah.
and energy, and it affects line of sight. And with
The park,
you know, Michael,
too, like
Honestly,
that
on this, the
open
healer
space
might actually be good,
is
though.
big, yeah.
and you know, Michael's ability to
A
just
team
like,
of full
stare
healers.
people down.
Well,
like,
we're
that
just
line of
guessing,
sight
though,
is
they
so
might not be.
important to the design, and I think our level design team has really done a great job making these landscapes, while true to the period, true to that to
Yeah,
the state,
same Arkham.
feel very distinct from a gameplay perspective.
There's the amount of like Hunter, our lead level designer, he has the references that he compiled of just like plane imagery from the time and things to just like really understand the true inner workings of Midwestern culture and layouts and infrastructure. Like there's so much that goes into that, but at the end of the day, it comes forward in a very nuanced place where you don't even think about it. It's kind of second nature to a lot of us to walk through these places and see them
Was
occupied,
it,
and we
Eat
really wanted
Pizza?
to make sure that was coming through.
Killer Clowns was a bit of a
Perfect.
flop.
Yeah, I think players are going to be very excited when they get to really explore these
This one
play
looks,
spaces for
as I said,
themselves.
I think this one's going to be one of the biggest ones they've done,
And
because
another wrinkle
I know I
that
keep saying
we
it,
have added to
and there's
the
some
game to
people on
ensure
YouTube who
that
are like, stop
that
saying it's
feeling
like Friday
between
13th, but it
matches
is.
stays very fresh and unique, is that we have
Because the
variable
foundation's
weather
based
effects.
very
So
heavily on
between
Friday the
matches, there are
13th, which
different
was
weather
one of the
conditions that you'll
biggest
see.
games.
So when you load into a
I'd
map,
say put them
every
on the
single
map, right? It puts
has the
us on the
opportunity
map.
to have a different
I
weather
think it's going to
effect.
be
And it
probably one of the
changes not
biggest
only
games
the
they've
look
done.
and
This.
feel of the game, but
'Cause it's just like
kind
more
of the
polished.
energy. And so, what elements in your eyes does this system add to the overall experience for the player?
You look at more surprise.
So the different aspects are
2018
pretty
matters.
straightforward in that it's
What's
something, it's different for your senses. It creates an entirely different ambiance for these locations. Being inside
Calling
of a
first game, we
house
get
when it's
over
raining,
300 FPS.
is
I mean, hopefully it's at
that
least 60,
pitter-patter of
like
of the
constant.
rain
Well, maybe
muffled
120
outside
constant.
and,
Hopefully.
seeing it run down the windows, that type of stuff is just it changes the look, but it also makes it harder to see distances. The wind and what that does to the foliage creates tougher visual connection points.
So they're saying there's
as the
dynamic
players
weather.
are scanning these locations, so they can really kind of add that layer, as well as just being louder and being something that you're not always going to pick up the footsteps or the breathing of Michael.
See, I'm
in
phone it
every
up. People turn it
situation.
into a
So it
sweatfest and
definitely
it'll
puts
die.
you on your toes, and
People will
it gives
always
you a
turn it
little
into a
something
sweatfest.
to
Humans are
switch up
competitive.
each of these.
It's not up to
once
people
we've tried to keep this
to
grounded in
moderate
Illinois
one another
1978. Let's
and
try
and
look
create
at
systems for one another. It's up to the devs. It's up to the devs.
kind of what would actually
They're
be
the ones in
happening there and
control,
keep it,
and they're the
keep it as
ones who need
close
to
as we
make it
can,
where the
while also
game
giving this layer,
keeps like kind of its
allows
fluidity
players
keeps
to
working.
experience these
It's
levels
not
in
up
a
to us to do
different
that.
state.
DVD kind of wants
There is
its
something
player base to do it.
very,
It doesn't work. You know, that's why they have all
very
the
awesome about
rules,
seeing
but then it's,
Michael
you know, on
just
its one side, blah, blah, blah.
standing
It's a
in
mess.
the
You need the
rain, just
devs to be
that
the ones who have
shadowy
full
shape
control.
off in the distance, just drenched in the rain. It's
You
there's
cannot,
yeah that and
you
you saw
can't
it in our
make
multiplayer
it.
overview trailer.
You can't put the
we were very
onus
excited about showcasing like how
as
tough he looks in that situation.
behavior.
So,
Told me that
yeah,
word.
there's some great flavor to that.
You can't put the onus on the player base. It needs to be
All
on
right,
the
up
devs.
next, we are going to talk a bit about meta unlocks. We do have plans to
Meta
have
unlocks, okay.
a more in-depth overview ahead of
So-
launch,
so
but we did want
This will give us I think by meta unlocks, they're just talking about perks and things, right? I think this is going to give us an idea of what direction they're like thinking about when they're thinking of perks. So this is actually going to be good insight, I think.
to spend some time today talking about some of the other pieces that you can unlock in this game outside of alternate outfits.
9070
And we're going to start with
J exit.
profile icons, profile backgrounds, titles, and player cards.
These look meta
So
to
in
me.
Halloween the game, players are going to have the opportunity to unlock these items by completing various challenges and customize their own profile cards, which
With
again
Flamingo.
is an added layer of customization within this experience. Jordan, I know our team is working very hard to provide as many rewards as possible in this experience. So
That eye is quite bad. Obviously, they're going for like a kind of look, right? That eye's quite bad, I think. It's what account icon. It does look almost like an intern has done it. It's giving me that kind of feeling. But I think it's just a design direction they're going for. But I don't care that much for this anyway. But yeah, none of these grab me. Which would I pick? If I had to pick out of these, I don't know. Default. Oh, there you go. That's how it's going to look. It looks a bit better there. When you've got this with this, it definitely has a floor, more of a floor to it. The clown one looks all right like that as well. It's just when it's zoomed in, it looks as good. Flamingo. Yeah, maybe.
outside of something like profile icons, backgrounds, what other layers are we adding to that chase and that hook
There's
for
where
Halloween
a
the game?
balance becomes.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been
day
a
one
fun
was,
part. I've been a part of most.
Well,
of our
yeah,
meta-
but that's why
meta
then they
progression
patch it
kind of
correctly,
build-outs
Pulsar.
over time.
The
For
issue
this one,
is,
try and
this is the massive issue that all asymmetricals face. The feedback the devs get is 4 times plus more on one side than the other. So they think that one side giving all the feedback, you know, the majority, will be the side that needs the most work. But the majority will always be the one that has the most players in, and the one that has the most players in is usually Survivor. So there's going to be 4 times more on average saying there's an issue with this side than the one who's playing the killer. There's an issue for this side. So it's going to just, like, almost objectively, you could say objectively, it's going to objectively look like the Survivor side is the one with the issue because there's more people with issues being thrown at it. Do you get me? There's going to be Fred after Fred after Fred saying about Survivor stuff, but there's only going to be a few with Killer, even if it's worse for Killer because there's less people creating Freds. Do you get me? That's the issue with asymmetrical and why it's harder to balance. And the devs need to understand that if there's 4 times more things coming in, minimum, for Survivor, that doesn't mean that Survivor has more issues. If anything, that actually would be more balanced. Because if you see, 1 Fred and then 4 on Survivor, 1 thread on killer, 4 on survivor, 1 thread on killer, 4 on survivor. That actually means it's close to balance, but it doesn't look like it, does it? Because it looks like more issues are on survivor, you see.
Keep it focused on the big things that'll kind of drive forward a lot of stuff. We have profile level. That is an overall tracker on your profile. We'll have a killer Michael Myers specific level.
I really think everyone's being
civilian
critical
will
of this
have
game
their own
because I've
levels.
passed this to the
Each
game.
of these are
I think I left
gained
from
by
the
obviously playing
Game's
with
out,
those
give it a chance.
characters.
I'm not being critical.
And then as well as
I'm just
starting weapon levels.
giving
for
feedback,
Michael.
talking
You'll
about
be able to
stuff.
select the
I
starting
think this is
weapon
going to be one of the
after
best games to
unlocking them
make.
with the correct killer level, of course.
Virgil,
and then
hello.
be
How you
able
doing, man?
to,
Hello.
level those weapons up as he's using them, which unlocks other things I'll get to in a second. We have a lot of progressive challenges for each of the different killer skins, as well as each of the different civilians.
So it looks like you might be able to
each
get
of
for free?
those have a progressive steps to challenges, so you have to complete one to complete the next, and we'll load in unlocks throughout those different things to really focus on, I'm playing this character, I'm going to unlock a lot of things relation to that, as well as sprinkling in things like the profile cards and banners and giving you things unique to that experience. Passive challenges as well, just kind of an overall just tracker of a lot of your different things that are pretty common. We've set up different books for the different sides that
I'm not sure, Dragon.
Different
we'll have to see how it
opportunities
works.
to test and play a lot of different features and unlock more things that you can then customize further.
Do you get perks though?
That's kind of a lot of the big things for where you'll be unlocking these things. But there's also things like experience that you'll get, as well as
I'm assuming there is. I feel like I've seen it last time I looked.
Executions, tints, and things, and for Michael especially, and his weapons, and
different
then,
executions.
Also, we have an in-game currency, and that kind of goes into something that I'm not going to get into too deep here because this is kind of a part of and will be fleshed out.
In-game currency.
He'd mentioned the kind of going over more of this metagame stuff, but civilian perks. We've definitely shown and given pretty, they've been in all the gameplay. You've seen them. We've mentioned them.
But I haven't seen what
we
they
want to
do.
make sure that we get a nice solid dive into those, but essentially at a high level, they are, you have a perk inventory on your menu that you'll be able to roll for perks and get different perks that you can then equip to decks. And those decks are what you equip to your characters going in. So
you get to mods and Lickage. Thank you for got his
Let's hope this one doesn't die in 3 months.
Only reason that happens, Wolf, is because they don't add new stuff. It isn't because the game's bad. It's because there's no new content and people don't want to play the same thing over and over. That's the issue. So you equip. Wait, let me say this again.
On your menu that you'll be able to roll for perks.
Roll for perks, so you don't get to pick your own perks. It's completely randomized, it looks like. Maybe you do this do you do this every time?
And get different perks that you can then equip to decks. And those
You get different perks and you can equip to decks.
Those decks are what you equip to your characters going in. So
and then those decks is what you equip to the character. So you equipped perks. This is how he's explained it. You equip perks to decks. Let's say there's like 4. But you can only grab that deck as like your thing, so it's like linked to all the perks that you've put in the deck, I'm assuming, right? That's what it sounds like. Sounds like Friday the 13th perk system. It's massively based on Friday the 13th, this game. I don't know what to say. When I've mentioned that, I've seen some people on like YouTube comments being like, stop comparing it to your Friday the 13th, and it's like, why? It's like, fair enough if it's people talking like PUBG to Fortnite, that's just stupid, but this is literally the foundation of Friday the 13th. The game is literally the foundation of Friday the 13th with, more polish and some new mechanics. It's very, very similar.
That is
let me hear this one more time.
You have a perk inventory.
Perk inventory, right?
On your menu that you'll be able to roll for perks.
You'll be able to roll for perks with your perk inventory. I feel like I'm saying this wrong. So you have a perk inventory, so you have an inventory of perks, and then you can use this to roll for perks. I think he's talking about maybe the currency you roll for perks. So that thing I think is confusing me with. It's the same system as Friday the 13th. You roll for perks like a scene or loot box. That's what I was thinking, yeah. Why not show the perks? Yeah, they should show it. Yeah, I don't know why they're not showing it. Gayu, FPS, how you doing, man? Glad you can catch one.
And get different perks that you can then equip to
Oh, dude, I don't like how he explains this.
high
Wait,
level. They are, you have a perk inventory
a perk inventory.
on your menu that you'll be able to roll for perks.
Which you'll be able to roll for perks from, which makes no sense. I'm going to get rid of the first part. So you have currency. You use the currency, you roll for perks. Right?
And get different perks that you can then equip to decks.
So then you'll get different perks from rolling, and then there'll be decks, and then you put the perks in the decks.
And those decks are what you equip to your characters going in. So
And then you want to get one deck, I'm assuming, which you can equip to the character, and then the deck has a certain amount of cards and a certain amount of perks which you've equipped to that deck. I think that's what he's saying, right? That's what it sounds like. Very convoluted for no reason, but it does sound like that. Damn, good shit, Castle. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
that is what, when you're earning those perks in game, that's where it's drawing from.
What? Oh. So you go in with the perks, but you still need to earn the perks that you've brought in with the deck.
Because there's just a lot of things we wanted to make sure are not getting too competitive, and this is.
I wonder. What are you on about? I wonder if there's a certain allocation of the deck. So, like, let's say the deck has 10-point allocation. Strong perks are like 6 points, so you can't have loads of strong perks you bring in. But you go for like a weak perk, like 1 point, 1 point, 6 points, 2 points. Where, yeah, right? And now you've made the full deck with 2 1 points, 1 6 point, 1 2 point, right? Maybe that's how they're doing it. Maybe that's how they're doing it. Not getting too competitive PvP games. They're so naive and delusional when they say this stuff. They said it with TCM as well, and it became super competitive. They are so naive and delusional when they talk about this stuff. It's a PvP competitive game. It's going to be competitive. The honeymoon period won't be too bad, if that's what they're on about. But if they just talk about the honeymoon period, the game's going to last like less than a week, right? Like, it'll become competitive. When you play, just it actually frustrates me a tiny bit, but I'm going to not try and show that frustration. Just think about this. They're expecting people, right? Or maybe they're not, but if they're not, then the game won't last. So they're expecting people to play the game for like hundreds of hours, right? Because you're playing it for like a year or 2 years or however long it lasts, and never get better or never try and get better or get more optimal, get more efficient. Like, why? Why would they not do that? Why would you not? Like, why would you put so much time into something and not want to like get more efficient or like get better at it? Like, that's just like human nature, in it. Like, what do you go into where you never want to get better at it but put loads of hours into it? Is there anything? Can anyone think of something? Like, the only thing I could think of is maybe like some RNG game, right? Like a party game, right? Where there's no real. It's more about luck. That's the thing, right? Because you can't really get better at luck. But as soon as there's like systems and perks and like routes and strategy, like, why would people not want to get better? I don't get it. Because the people in charge of the game are not gamers. Hopefully they are a bit. You do ideally need gamers who are making games, at least some of them, right? Anyway, let's see what he says. I really, I don't want to say it triggers, but I really hate when devs say they don't want a PvP game to be competitive. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It sounds really stupid. It's like saying, like, we're inventing the game of football, but we don't want it to be competitive. It's like, what do you mean? You don't want to be competitive? Like, anyway,
sure are not getting too competitive, and this is one of those aspects where we feel like we can take a nice casualized approach to it and make sure it remains in a fair category for the use cases. So we'll dive into those more later, but you weren't.
It don't make any sense. This whole sentence doesn't make any sense. Does anyone understand this?
Are not getting too. There's just a lot of in game. That's where it's drawing from.
Luckily, it says he'll go to it, so we'll understand more of kind of how it looks. Remember, I'm blind. This is the first time I watched it.
Because there's just a lot of things we wanted to make sure are not getting too competitive, and this is.
There's a lot of things we are wanting to make sure that they don't get too competitive. Maybe he's using the wrong word. He might be using the wrong word. Maybe he's talking about imbalance. I don't know. He said some weird things talking about getting perks to use to get perks. I think he said that wrong too.
One of those aspects where we feel like we can take a nice casualized approach to it and make sure it
I don't know.
remains
I don't know
in
what
a
to say
fair category for the use cases. So we'll dive into those more later, but you earn currency, you use that to bolster your perk decks, kind of build those up.
Wait, there it is.
Currency, you use that category for the use cases. So we'll dive into those more later, but you earn currency, you use that to bolster your perk decks.
Yeah, so it is currency. I knew it. He said the wrong thing. I understood that anyway. So you use the currency to get the perks. You put them in a deck. The deck potentially has a point allocation. You grab the decks, you put them into the match. You unlock the decks through playing the game. Like, you unlock them slowly through playing the game. That's what I understand so far. Apparently, it's going to explain it, so let's see how right I am.
Kind of build those up.
From his jumbled way of talking about it.
What you need them for your different situations. You equip them to your different characters and jump in to try and survive. So there's kind of the big things that I can think of besides all the cosmetics and things. There's just a lot to unlock everywhere. So we're really excited to see people jump in and we want to definitely put some of those really special Michael skins and different things that we feel are noteworthy. We want to make sure we put them in a place that is rewarding to get to, and you can be in multiplayer and brag about the fact that you got here. Make sure people see that and really know that, oh wow, this person went to these lengths to get that. Because
I think the top guys are fucking a bit of a cold.
That's going to be very, very impactful and crucial to the multiplayer peacocking experience that we all know and love.
Yeah, we definitely want some unlocks that you can bring into the lobby and just flex. We've joked about how we want we want those items that when you see in the lobby,
you love how honest I am.
I know exactly how much this person.
Dude, love me or hate me. That's just how I am. I'm super blunt.
Increasing that level of fear. So yeah, as you touched on, there are a lot of systems and layers to the overall meta game in Halloween the Game. And because of that, like I touched on, we are going to break those out more specifically. But I think it was important to really touch on high level, all the things you can look forward to. And there are a lot of elements that are going to give you stuff to kind of chase and earn and feel good every time you play this game.
Let's think of this as well. Like, let's say there's some perks that you really want to get to, you want to earn to feel good, etc. Wouldn't you wanting that perk most likely be because it's going to give you an advantage? And wouldn't you say going for a perk which is going to make you stronger would be a competitive want? Just there. Now, this is what I'm on about. This we're going to casual, like, it just.
So the next section we're going to dive into are some of
the
dynamics between Michael versus civilians when it comes to abilities and that kind
of. Those had never said if you keep the perks, if you have to keep buying them. True.
That back and forth. We've showcased.
They will want a system to keep you playing, so maybe that is a design. We'll see though. Apparently they're going to talk about it. Maybe they'll forget.
Reality tear, detection pulse. Blackout. There have been a lot of pieces that we've shown, and we want to spend some time kind of reiterating what that means for the overall player experience, showing off new ways you can use those, and then kind of, discussing a little bit of the back and forth between Michael and civilians. So at
they'll
PAX
curb natural human behavior. It just won't happen, will
As
it?
Jordan touched on, people got to play this game for the first time. They got to use detection pulse. They got to try shape jump. They got to really go hands-on with Michael to get a feel for that. What you'll notice in this clip that we're running here is some differences if you played at PAX or if you saw footage from PAX when it comes to detection pulse and shape jump and how they operate. So Jordan, I thought this was a great opportunity for us to kind of really speak to, how a player would use detection pulse and shape jump to put pressure on civilians, and then
that right there is what I don't want the game to turn into.
Use detection pulse and shape jump
where you're just doing that
put
to kill them, because I think the grabbing thing is really cool.
Pressure on civilians, and then on the flip side, how civilians could fight back against that.
Yeah, it was really great to see people play the game in just that sense of understanding how powerful different things are. We had our own ideas and kind of
Burn them, don't slow them down, don't kill them. It does kill them. They have 4 health bars. I'm assuming, from what I remember before, one attack, if you don't stalk them, does a bit less than 1 health bar, meaning they're going to take 5 hits to kill. So yeah, I mean, just that. Maybe you'll run out of stamina as you're swinging though. So I don't know. I'm kind of speculating that. But I think it's going to take five swings with a non-stalk person to kill. When they stalked, it's probably going to take about 3.
But ultimately, we wanted to see everything in action.
I'm just picturing the bar when it got hit, how much it did.
But being able to see it confirmed pretty much everything we were feeling, which is always a good feeling, of course, that you're on the right track. But essentially, it came down to really refining how detection pulse was working. For one, it was very powerful.
Add them temp inventory, equip them temporary, permanent lock the
regardless of where they were.
Blood,
there
yes,
was just a lot of power in how it was allowing him to detect and get close to people. So we wanted to make sure that this allowed for a couple layers. One being the fact that inside of a structure, it marks the structure.
If you land yes, you will never not use it.
It was very important that Michael
you put 2 double negatives,
understand that they're in something.
Never
but
not.
Now that they're in there, he's got to get in up close.
Never not
figure
use
out
it
what
for all
part
future
of the
builds.
house they're in.
Oh, it'll always come.
Actually, do his thing. So that was a big balance. There's also been some
never not.
work
It means always. Yeah.
allowing you to find the blind spots as a civilian, so that when you are aware that detection pulse is happening, there's a few things you're going to be able to do to kind of avoid or at least deter the outline that's placed.
Oh, they'll
on
definitely
you
exploit,
to try and
because people are
avoid
competitive and they want to win.
that. I believe the one other thing we did is when you're inside of a house and trigger it, once again, it still is just showing you that there's someone in there rather than giving you the exact location. So there's safety in houses, and that was the kind of next big part of this was
That's that Friday the 13th.
how we were approaching shape jump and how
it showed the house, but it didn't show where they were. Remember, it's like glowing red.
There was a little bit too much accessibility in that build into houses. You were able to phase through any wall or
kind of like that.
Door and
That's
window,
just a bit nicer looking.
That was
like
just a little bit too easy access. It was not giving us that, oh, he's outside. Like we have 35
seconds. House, this man can walk through a door. Yeah, but you don't know where they are. When they're not in a house, you know specifically exactly where they are. This is like Friday the 13th again. When they're in a house, you don't know where they are. You know they're in there, but they can be hiding. This is why it'll work. They're using Friday the 13th's framework. Friday the 13th's framework was well done. That they can hide like under a bed or in a closet, etc. You know they're in the house, but you don't know where. You look in the closet, boom, they run out of the bed, right? Like
seconds or 45 seconds until he figures out how to shut the power and get in or find an opening. It was more so he was just in there already. So we definitely wanted to make sure that as you get inside these houses and you turn on the lights, you're safe for a little bit. It's not the entire time, but at least gives you this reprieve so that you can loot really quick, find a hiding spot, maybe recruit somebody really fast to help you fight back. There's just multiple things that we want to
horror
give
than
that breathing room. So we
DVD is more
blocked
Fortnite,
any
though.
window or door that is under the influence of light in a room.
As I did
so
say, I said DVDs were coming like Fortnite. And look, I was right.
That he was able to get inside this laundry room. So civilians that are knowing that he's chasing you, you close the door, you lock the doors, you make sure all the lights are on. That's your layer.
And I'm not saying it is like Fortnite in the sense of you're building and shooting and stuff. It's kind of model where they're grabbing all these different characters, like Lara Croft, Scooby-Doo, that kind of shit.
It's really worked out nicely for what we've added, and I'm excited to see it in action. It really paces through
the vibe of Fortnite. It's the same model.
Michael another thought process of
Payloads for
do I
skins.
really feel
Except
like
Fortnite's
it's
free.
necessary to chase this person? There's going to be some choices there that maybe that's enough to deter him for a little bit, and he goes elsewhere to find another target. So there's been a lot that we've gone into making sure that these are feeling solid and also play very nicely together, and we can also get a little bit more.
Are they going to talk about this perk system?
You know, we'll walk through
because they said they're going to talk
eventually
about
more of the
it
countermeasures and
more,
things
but
that
Q&A is
civilians
coming
can
up.
take to prevent
and
these things from happening. Fight
that
back
might
a
be the
little
last
bit
thing.
more.
Usually Q&A is the last thing.
It really gives civilian players a false sense of security. I
Sometimes
think,
people
and it-
say that. I've noticed they'll say we're going to talk about this more. Like, you know, later on, and then they just don't, as if they want you to forget. I remember you said you were going to talk more about the perks. I'm sure you did.
really kind of feeds
Yeah, perks
into
Q&A.
that
It could be. It could
goal
be. Yeah.
of
Hopefully it is.
creating that
Will they show it on
immersive
screen, or
horror
they're just gonna
movie
speak?
experience. Because in this example here, you're seeing Michael scan the front of the house. You're seeing the visual feedback. This is lights are on in here, which means I can't pass through there. So as a civilian, you're in that house. You've turned on all the lights. You've locked the doors. You think you're safe. Oh no, you forgot to turn on this light, and Michael's inside the house.
Oh, wait. Wait. If you turn all the lights on... Oh, okay, interesting. Okay.
You're seeing the visual feedback. This is lights are on in here, which means I can't pass
I
through there.
see, I see. So light makes it so he can't get through the windows, he can't go through the doors in this form. He could still go there as himself, but then obviously he can run away because that's really easy to see him that way. So for him to be stealthy, he needs... So there's a lot of light play. I think a lot of the mechanics of this game are around lights. Yeah, cutting the power, it makes sense. And that's why he has the thing that cuts the lights as well as one of his powers. It makes it... A lot of this game is about lights. Like, you can break this and then they can repair it with a repair kit, what I saw earlier, to make sure the lights are on. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be revolving a lot around light. Yeah,
So
light
as a
equals
civilian,
slow
you're in
down,
that
light
house. You've
equals
turned on
safety.
all
Okay.
the lights. You've locked the doors.
I don't think that was the same as Jason. I'm pretty sure Jason, it didn't matter. I'm pretty sure it didn't matter. So that's interesting. It's a really good thing they've gone with here, you know, like really, really good. As I said earlier, the last year the Nightmare with the way they did the light or you being seen by someone else. It's such a good mechanic that weren't explored to its fullest, and it looks like these are really exploring it. It is a really fucking good mechanic,
You think you're safe.
in my
Oh
opinion.
no, you forgot to turn on this light. And
Really good
Michael's
mechanic,
inside
like,
the house. And so like those kind of
it needs
moments,
to be
again,
explored
while
more,
the
even
houses
past
feel
this.
more like a fortress and they feel like you're safe. You're safe inside these walls. You're never really safe if you're not playing your cards right. So I think that's a really fun dynamic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep, it's been
I still don't know what's going to happen when they're in a group, though. If they all just run around in a group and have loads of stones or like bricks.
playing really well. I've been enjoying it. And
Baseballs.
the moments that come out of it are just consistently good because you just never know
Bully
what's going to
time,
happen.
yeah.
And it usually leads to me jumping out of a window.
I would have
'cause
thought they would have
that's
thought about it, though.
the best.
Because
most
I'm thinking
stylish
about it,
way
I'm not even
to
fucking
get out
deaf.
of Michael's path.
I mean, blasting through a window, it feels good every time. You know?
Oh yeah, every time.
Like, they can't rely that the survivors just don't know what they're doing and then they won't ever group up. They can't rely on that. They need to have a fail-safe when you get 4 survivors who know what they're doing and they just group up and they get loads of protection. What can Myers do, right? Maybe, thinking now, if they're all running around with 4 of them, you could stalk them and then you could get close to them-ish and then just go for the spamming mouse ones. But that's what I said. I don't know if I want... I don't think it's cool if you just spam mouse ones. I feel that that's what the meta would be, though, at the top level. Like, you wouldn't ever be able to grab someone.
Hurts, but whatever.
Because it was like that in Friday the 13th, I feel like.
So another ability we demonstrated at PAX East, but we haven't really touched on officially. We haven't
Bully
really
the Killer
communicated
game.
this much
I
outside.
never
of
really get bullied
It was something that existed
when I
in
play
the
Killer.
PAX build.
So
Was
it'd
an
be
ability
rare if I
called
did.
Shape Slip. So we're going to run a clip here that shows Michael walking up to a house, looking into a window. Again, lights are off. Somebody made a mistake. There's a civilian running back and forth. We have the noise pings. He sees a
Cool.
closet.
Oh,
you see
cool.
that highlight. From there, he's able to shape slip inside of this closet and then get the jump on the civilian inside.
Why did he get
So
to do
short
that?
Slip
Where?
in this ping
That's really
window.
cool.
Again, lights are off.
This
That
is a cool
shows
mechanic too.
Michael walking up to a house.
But why would the lights be off? every good player will have all lights on of every single room. That's what the strategy will be. Once again, they're going to be very competitive. That'll be the meta, right? Also, they're saying they don't want the game to be competitive, but you know, I'm not going to dwell on that. So yeah, the lights are off. So let's hear.
Looking into a window, again, lights are off. Somebody made a mistake. There's a civilian running back and forth. We have the noise pings. Again, a clip here that shows Michael walking up to a...
So this is one of his abilities he gets from Bloodthirst, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's his second tier. So second tier Bloodthirst. I could be wrong. It could be a different one, or it might just be default. But he's able to like go into first person, and then if there's no light on, he can look through a window. And then when he looks through a window, there's certain things he can teleport into, maybe under a bed as well. Could be cool. And then he can get the jump on them. That's kind of cool. You could do that just before they turn the lights on as well. Like you could see that they've ran into this building. You could shapeshift out here instead of going in. And then you could, you could go out with your phase out here instead of going in. And then you could shapeshift in through the window before they turn the light on. And then you could come out of there, which could be kind of cool too.
House. Looking into a window. Again, lights are off. Somebody made a mistake. There's a civilian running back and forth. We have the noise ping.
And also, it talks about how lights are off. 100% this game is played around light. I'm 100% positive now.
He sees a closet. You see that highlight. From there, he's able to shape slip inside of this closet.
Can he stalk
and then
through it?
Get the jump on the civilian inside.
Again, the mouse one
So,
spam.
Jordan, let's talk a little bit more about shape slip and again, how we're using that to leverage our ultimate jump scare machine here.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I really watched closely. I wanted to see if anyone found it at PAX because I was like, okay, someone's got to see this. I think in one of the original multiplayer videos, I think in one of the shots, the reticle appears and the image appears for a second. I don't think anyone caught it, but this is one of his really powerful pieces of shape jump. Like we have shape dash. Which has that quick move forward and gets you maneuvering pretty quickly, but shape slip gives you the opportunity
Outside
to
of a room when he
really
jumps
get
into the closet.
a place fast.
Well, she's running around turning
killer
lights on, isn't she?
sense. So you can shape slip in shape jump. So if you're in shape jump and you're
And I
moving
think she just
around,
turned it on there.
you see a hiding spot that's a little
Yeah.
ways away, you aim at it, you can jump into it. But then if you're in killer
Oh, that's
sense,
her
the
running,
first-person
panicking
view,
to turn the light on.
obviously
That's
you're
what I'm
not being
assuming.
looked at by
I don't know.
anyone and all those sane conditions. Shape slip will bring you in there and get you into that hiding spot. And those hiding spots are all around the map. There's car doors that you can use out in the open. There's different tool sheds and all the different hiding spots throughout houses.
Okay.
Like if you can find that visual connection to it, you're going to be able to shape slip into it.
It's got good UI, this, but again, it's working off Friday the 13th Foundation. Like, they're able to grab something what was successful and just polish everything. This is exactly what I expected. That's why I think this has massive
And allow
potential.
you to jump out and really scare people, especially if they're running towards that hiding spot and you get in there before them.
Looks bad when the survivors get
there's
hit. It's just, it doesn't look bad, in my opinion. It just looks normal. It just looks normal. The grabs are very unique, and they're almost like USP, aren't they? Like Friday the 13th, once again. The grabs are what should be more of the game, but if they make it where grabs are less useful, it's just going to be mashing mouse 1. It was in Friday the 13th. Mashing mouse 1 was more safe, and it was smarter.
There's some gold that happens in those types of situations, so it's powerful. It's got a cooldown to make sure it's not overly abused in that way, but it's led to a lot of really good situations and continues to fuel that ultimate.
Like, imagine instead of
machine that we're building,
instead of
Yes,
just
absolutely.
that,
So
which she didn't really get impacted either. She just stood still, didn't she? Right, so there's no impact of the swing. So that's probably why it looks not as good. Instead of that, imagine if you like grabbed her and then just slammed her like through the window, or like slammed her head on here or something, or like broke her back or something like that. It would look more immersive, because like
you said,
right. So
that we're building situations and continue used in that way.
Absolutely. So you said,
so this. Him walking here, this is all immersive,
we
right?
were lurking at PAX East, waiting and watching to see.
And then looking
there's
through.
two things: shape slip, And then we had
immersive, right? The immersion is still going on. It's all fluid.
the flamingo
Fluid.
execution that I was just
This
waiting,
fluid.
waiting all
Boom.
PAX
In here, still immersive, still really in it.
East. I did see a couple, so I was like, okay.
And then, jumps
But
out.
yeah, I do want to give out a huge
Still immersive. Now, if they do like a really cool animation where you grab her and you slam her on the thing, it's been this really fluid immersion. But then when it starts doing this,
shout out to everyone who joined us at PAX East as well. It was
it starts breaking that polish. Do you see what I mean? It's not like the biggest thing, but yeah, that's what I'm on about.
a great opportunity for the team. We met so many excited players.
And nothing doing
we got to
shit. Yeah, there's no
those
impact.
kind of jump scare moments in person and see people literally scream out loud while playing this game. And as you touched on, I think that kind of reinforces a lot of the goals the team has. But again, really grateful for all the people who came out,
she does
played,
like that.
left feedback, and kind of joined us for that experience.
Hate the slashers.
One more Michael ability we want.
Again, they're not too bad. It's just they have the USP of the kill animations. That should be what mainly is used, correct? They've done like work on the animations and stuff, and they've made it where you can kill them in all different places of the map. It should be something what's
Want
used
to
more.
kind of reinforce here, and we've shown this ability taking out a fleeing car.
I wonder if you could stalk through there. That'd be cool if you could stalk through there after slipping in. That'd be really cool.
And that is the blackout ability. This is a very versatile
Blackout
move
ability.
in
Yep.
Michael's
Light
kit.
again.
So not only can it shut off lights, kill flashlights, kill automobiles, as you'll see in lights, kill flashlights.
It closes doors.
It's kill automobiles. Only can it shut off lights, kill flashlights.
Interesting. Lock doors. Yeah. Trap them in. That is cool.
Kill automobiles.
So there's the
As
grab
you'll
lock.
see in this clip here, there's a civilian inside the house.
See?
The door's open. I'm going to make a break for it. I'm going to sprint outside. Michael says,
Didn't
no,
show anything.
I'm sorry. Blackout ability closes that door, temporarily locks the door, and then gives Michael that chance
Very
to
cool.
close the distance and grab that civilian. So, chance to blackout ability closes that door, temporarily locks the door, and then gives Michael.
Okay, they're faster than him, but they have a stamina thing. You can see she's faster. Let's say he's 100%. She's about 105. So they are faster. So you physically cannot grab them if they're running away until they've run out of stamina. So if that were a smart player and they saw that door close, they would have ran upstairs and then jumped out the window, I think. And they would have been safe, but they would have taken damage from jumping out the window.
That chance to close the distance and grab that civilian.
That's
So-
how Friday the 13th was. A lot will be the same.
Blackout ability in a lot of ways feels like
Even the grabs like it, innit, right?
very important component of
But
Michael.
Blackout wasn't in it. But that's why I said they'd get... I was just wondering what the hell this clock were doing. But I think it's just a crack. They get... what is it? They get like kind of the foundation of Friday the 13th, and then they also can add new elements. This is exactly what I'm expecting. Friday the 13th, you didn't have this ability, but it would have been amazing if you did. And they've probably been thinking that, right? Like in Friday the 13th, when you're chasing someone, what would have been good to happen? Well, this way, you know, they run over there or they do this. Okay, well, what about this? What locks the doors? Boom. Because I don't think you could do this in Friday the 13th, lock doors like this. I'm
Kit.
quite confident.
How can players use this outside of what we talked about, and then how can Michael use this again as a killer who's
But I want to think of smart players before the game because I analyze. It's how I get good at stuff. I analyze. I think about not just from the killer perspective, but the survivor perspective. Right? I'm seeing like, yeah, I'm seeing kind of what you would do.
known
Yeah,
for-
I don't know.
not known for his speed?
But yeah, that would
How
be the
can he
play.
use this to kind
And
of
I'm assuming it takes maybe 2 health states when you jump out the window. And then you'll be able to run again, and then probably get into another house, and then turn the lights on, and maybe try and find other people, and you find other people. The only thing I'm thinking is like, what's going to happen when the survivors group together? They're still not saying that.
keep that pressure on civilians.
Methodical analysis. That's
I
what
mean,
do.
you covered a lot of it, and we've shown a lot of it. It's got
A lot
of
love it,
uses
some
to
don't.
deter and
Like, a lot of people like it where I'm pausing, I'm explaining what I'm thinking, etc. But there is genuinely people when I put on YouTube where they're like, stop pausing it, I want to watch it. It's like, you could literally just watch this video without me speaking without any interruptions if you want. Like, the whole point of this is me saying, like, me kind of like telling you what I'm thinking. No, that's the whole point. It isn't us just watching the video. It's me like literally analyzing it and saying like my thoughts.
Prevent.
Like very more
And
for
I think one
ADHD
thing that a
people.
lot of
Maybe my
people
content in
have
for
kind
ADHD.
of caught on to, if you're kind of reading between the lines here, is blackout is that it gives you an extra chance to get into shape jump and get in and out of shape
Also,
jump. It
we can see how
provides
long
that
the
moment where
blackout
you're-
lasts, by
you're
the way.
shutting off everything around you
So this is where it starts. So
and
1,
giving yourself
2,
the opportunity to
3,
get away or
4,
slip back and
5,
forth to really
6,
surprise people.
7,
So having the
8,
ability
about 8 seconds, 7 to 8 seconds it lasts.
to shut the doors and kind of catch people off guard with that, like being able
And then I'm
to
assuming there's perks which extend it.
to hit the car in its vicinity. There's just a lot of ways that allow you to use it, and then in combo with some of these other abilities to really make those moments happen.
I just
While
analyze.
not being super,
I'm constantly
it's-
analyzing.
It's one of those ones that's not super offensive to the characters. It's got its
What's
utility, and
interesting
it's been
is
offensive.
it has this blackout thing still going, but it's actually on now. You see that?
While not in combo with some of these other abilities to really make those moments
So
happen.
what's going on here?
While not being super, it's one of those ones that's not super offensive to the
Don't know what it is.
characters. It's got its utility, and it's
Maybe
been
when
really
you
fun
grab
to
them,
use
it
in
does
these different ways. And honestly, there's
So blackout's
there's
when it's
always
all
new
red,
things that people discover.
but then the red changes
when
for some
games like
reason.
this, and we take a more
And then it goes
sandbox
into the black.
approach, there begins
Dunno.
to become moments and instances
Yeah,
that
visual effect,
that are
yeah.
there and working, but aren't always fully revealed to our gameplay yet. So I'm excited to see what that holds for us.
Yeah, calling back to some of our previous examples, in the scenario with detection pulse and shape jump, let's say those lights are on and your blackout ability is not on cooldown, you can create openings and
That's what I
opportunities to
said.
get inside these houses as well.
The gameplay's around light.
And then
Exactly.
civilians, they'll know when it's going off, and that will create that kind of fear and that panic because they know Michael can be anywhere at this stage now.
It's smart playing around light as well, because like darkness is like the scary like thing in it. It's the unknown, so it's good,
No, I
man.
think
Like
that's a really great piece of this
They've
kit.
got like, solid ideas. I remember feeling like this when I
I hate to be a
heard
tease,
TCM as well.
but I mean,
You
not
don't hate
really.
to be a tease. You love to.
No, not at all. I love it. I lavish in it. We've only shown a portion of Michael's kit thus far. We've shown, in my eyes, a pretty strong suite of his abilities, but there are a lot more options for players that are going to be available at launch that can really help you
I'm trying to learn
customize
from the
how
research
you
on
want
past
to
game
play
and
Michael.
learning.
And
The issue
we're
is
excited to show those at a later date.
how much content is going to be. Because
So Jordan,
it physically, no matter
Michael's
how good
looking
it
pretty
is,
strong,
it can't
right? He's
last
looking-
if there isn't
he's looking like a
content
force of nature.
consistently added. Imagine if
We've
Fortnite
shown that
was still
civilians
the
can
same
fight
as it
back, they can
were
get weapons,
season 1.
they can get guns.
It'd be
they
dead,
can-
wouldn't it?
They can combat Michael, but it seems like maybe the deck is stacked against them a little bit because his kit is strong. But we did want to
Well, of
introduce
What is
this concept of mysterious items in this world and in these play spaces, which will give
Shit. Mysterious items will buff the survivors, and they still haven't mentioned how you deal with a group of them. Okay, let's see what this is.
civilians a chance to fight
We'll
back.
settle it later. We'll
Michael's
talk about
seemingly
content. That's what they said,
overwhelming
by the way.
power.
Wait, their answer was, we will settle it. We will let it settle, and later we'll talk about content. Oh, okay. No.
Jordan, do you want to talk a little bit about what these mean?
See.
And I know we are intentionally keeping a
Oh,
lot of
okay. Oh, shit. Is this going to be a light you can't turn off? This is going to be something which allows the timer to like extend. Don't know what this is going to be. Maybe your health state. I think this is going to be a light you can't turn off. That'd be insane. If you group together and then you have this, what can he do? Let's see if I'm right.
the secret until launch, just as a heads up. If you want more info ahead of launch, we're not really going to give it to you. But what can we talk about today when it comes to these mysterious items?
These are something that we're not giving a lot of info on because they're, like you'd said, they're purposefully something we want people to explore and discover.
Right.
They're rare, and they're things that will appear in the loot pool and do things that might affect Michael a little bit more than a regular household item. It's just something that we want.
That fucking lantern doesn't turn off. How much you want to bet? I think I'm right with that. The game's all about light and dark, and there's a special item, which is a lantern.
Want people to discover and find out about, because there's moments and instances where these may save you and your friends from imminent death, and we wanted to make sure those opportunities existed beyond just what you're fully capable of doing with all the other
Oh
items.
gosh,
So
slows
there's a
down
little bit
Michael
of an
Myers.
extra
No, I don't think so.
wrench in Michael's
Maybe
gears,
though,
and
maybe.
we're excited for people to explore what these do.
You might be
Yeah,
right.
when it comes to our
This might be a resurrection as well. Like if you die with this, you get resurrected again.
randomized loot pools, I think
It's red.
items like
It's red for health. It has to be something to do with health state or resurrection, in my opinion.
this kind of really incentivize you to check every nook and cranny, because there is a chance you can get an item like this, and an item like
It
this
could be do more damage.
could literally be the difference between
Like
life and
red
death in the
tear
game.
stone.
So super excited about that. Next up, we have our community Q&A. But before we dive into all of that, I do want to take a quick second to just touch on some pre-order information, recap the different editions, and touch
Okay,
on some
Q&A.
frequently asked questions about the different versions. So let's dive into that real quick. Halloween the Game is launching on September 8th, 2026 on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Steam, and Epic Game Store. Pre-orders for the digital edition are available now. If you pre-order the standard edition of the game, you get that awesome animated Phantom Michael Myers skin. We also have a digital deluxe edition available, which gets you that Phantom Michael Myers skin, the Inmate Michael Myers skin, and Richard and Alexis. So some things I do want to touch on when it comes to the digital deluxe edition. There will be an upgrade available at launch as well. The items such as Inmate, Richard, and Alexis are exclusive to that version. So you will either need to pre-order the digital deluxe edition or buy the digital deluxe edition at launch to get those characters. Phantom Michael Myers is a digital pre-order exclusive. Just wanted to reiterate that and confirm that that will not be available post-launch. And that is a digital pre-order exclusive. So that's not something that is going to be available post-launch.
It's 4 more, bit of 4 more, yeah.
That is a incentive and a reward for the people supporting the game on day one.
I have no idea.
We also have, more recently we announced... Sorry, arguably for some people who want to play this game as soon as possible, the most important part of the Digital Deluxe Edition upgrade is early access to the game starting on September 4th at 9 a.m.
PDT.
Next up, we have some physical editions. Last week, we unveiled our physical editions for Halloween the Game that will be coming a little bit later in the year. They're launching on October 6th.
I don't know. Well, honestly, regarding you guys thinking it's going to fall off, etc. The reason being, and I keep having to reiterate this, is because there's no content. Like, even TCM, it had good mechanics. There were just no content. People are not going to play the same exact maps with the same exact characters against the same exact family over and over again. It's going to get boring. It's going to get boring. So if they keep releasing content, if they kept releasing content with TCM and new mechanics and all this kind of stuff, it'd still be going now. Will they continually create content is the issue.
Yes, people have been very excited about this. And this
I'd say exact same killer's boring.
The game disc,
that is
the
something.
Box, the shape jump figure, some posters.
That's the only real struggle, I think.
Other skins. When it comes to availability on this, it is limited, so you'll need to kind of check retailer availability on that front. But again, I will reiterate.
It's not just asymmetricals; it's any game.
Very limited.
If you don't release new stuff, people are going to get bored.
Up there.
Look at DPD. Look how much it has to release.
All right, Jordan, the community Q&A of our developer Q&A stream has finally come. So a few weeks ago, we put out a call to the community to get all your burning questions about this game. And we put out a thread on Reddit. We got some questions from socials, and we had hundreds of responses. So huge shout out to everyone who dropped those questions. There were a lot to kind of go through. Previous sections of the stream, we feel, touched on a lot of those questions, but at the end here, we did want to touch on some other burning questions from the community. So let's get into it. First question from Pat My Kitty X. Will we get a
Sorry to sound like DVD people, innit?
Discord server? And yes, we are launching the Halloween the Game official Discord server on July 22nd. So keep your eyes on our socials for the official announcement there and a link to join that Discord. Next up.
Yeah, very true, Medchar.
Can we expect
Medchar,
a content roadmap at launch, asks Haunt Knight. So right now we are focused on kind of stressing and showcasing what is available in this game on day one. Jordan has touched on in previous interviews, and we've mentioned that, yes, we do have a very exciting slate of content planned for after launch, but we are not going to be discussing that until a little bit later and closer to launch. So appreciate that.
This sounds so familiar to TCM. So it's all exciting. They've got loads of ideas.
We will have more details to share in the future. Importance No 1608 asks, will there be a beta? Unfortunately, no. We do not have plans for a beta at this time.
That's surprising.
All right, Jordan. We have a question here from Acceptable Wear 4340 that says, how important is maintaining continuity going to be with future cosmetics in terms of style and tone?
Why are they asking this? This is a weird question. This is so familiar to what they were talking about in TCM. This is such a weird question for someone to ask. TCM, the reason why they took so long to do like cosmetics and everything is because of this, where they were saying that it needs to follow this specific thing, so they need to do loads of research, and that's an excuse why they can't put loads of stuff out. It's a really weird question, this.
You want me to answer this one? Is that what you meant by that?
I can take it if you want.
No, I got it. It just had your logo, your name next to the thing. Anyway, to not distract for too much longer, I kind of mentioned it before, but there needs to be, you know, strike a really good balance between the period accuracy, franchise authenticity, and making sure we're leaning into player expression. We want people to be, you know, very excited about any of the cosmetics we have, and that's a big part of making cosmetics for games. So that's where we're gonna go with.
Absolutely. That's the ultimate goal, is making people excited about how they look in the game. Plenty Photograph 4 asks, will the face of Michael Myers on the inmate outfit be blurry like the pre-order images, or are you guys waiting to reveal what his face will look like? The face of Michael Myers will remain blurred throughout the story mode and when you use that skin in multiplayer. So we are not, you're not going to see his face. It's
another very specific thing. I didn't even notice that.
That is representative of what it's going to look like in game. Jordan, Zach Rods asks, what kind of play style are you hoping to make the game for? Casual or competitive?
That's fair enough. So they're going to say casual, but it doesn't make sense. I wonder if they can explain how they're going to be able to do that. A mix of both would make the most sense.
Or a mix of both?
What a great question. There's a long, lengthy answer to this. I'll try not to yap too much about it. But
go ahead and yap. It's fine.
Ultimately, I think the focus and the approach is casual. Like, there's something to what this game is on the form of a social and you know, matchmaking experiences around interacting with other people, having fun, like having those encounters. But we also want to make sure that we're balancing and making all of our gameplay fit for people that want to sweat and like have those moments where they go back and forth. But we don't want that intruding into and building a situation where people that are just trying to enjoy the game are getting completely overshadowed by people that really have a lot of different pieces of knowledge of the game, as well as just stacking in certain directions. That's why I kind of mentioned the perks being a bit more casualized in our approach, is we didn't want to create a situation that was fully reliant on people's decision making process to build these very specific things, more so giving them the tools to play the game and find those variations and nuance. So it's much more about a casualized experience that leans into the horror, that leans into the jump scares, leans into the matches unfolding in fun.
Dude, I feel like I get brain rot when I talk when people talk about making a competitive multiplayer game casual. Like how do you do this? So he's doing it. So the reason that you won't be able to be too competitive is because you won't be able to pick complete meta perks. I don't think that's how it'll work. Sounds like step on eggshells. Oh god, it's just, I don't know why they fight against it so much. It never works. They said the same with TCM. TCM competitive as fuck.
In interesting ways, and then also having just a robust approach to every feature we have that allows the more competitive people to find those little nuances of killer skill and civilian skill, so that they can have those moments that they can only survive based on the fact that they've built up those skills for. So it's a blend, but I'm gonna say we're leaning more casual, and I wanna preface as well that like we're.
How do they keep falling for it? Like TCM did the exact same thing, and TCM was really, really competitive. Like all they do is they just make irritating mechanics, and that's it. Like they like a perk system where you can't get certain things that you want. They did it with TCM, and then they went back on it because it was just irritating people. TCN is gun, yes. Ilphonic or working with gun with this one. For it to be truly casual, it literally has to be forced by the gameplay mechanics. Friday the 13th for the most casual... Wait, was most casual so it was possible. Friday the 13th was not casual. It was super sweaty. It was casual for the first week, and this will be, of course, because people don't know what they're doing in the honeymoon period. But you're talking like a year down the line, people are still going to be playing casually. I don't know, man. I'm always going to be lost with this. It does not make any sense to me.
We're watching everything. Like we will never hope to garner and gain the sample size needed to do anything huge right now. But the second it's out there in the wild and people are playing, and there's more just minds at.
And then you'll realize that you can't make a multiplayer game casual unless it's just based completely on RNG. That's the only way you could do it. You do it where there's no skill expression and it's just RNG randomness. Then it can be casual. That's the only way you could do it, right? That's the only way you could do it. You can't have any skill expression and then it can be casual. As long as there's, if there's only the smallest amount of skill expression, it's going to become competitive because the people who have hit that peak of the skill expression given will be the ones who win more consistently.
Work, discovering all the possible combinations of gameplay. We're never gonna really be able to hit that until the game is out there, and from there it's about analyzing what's happening, understanding the issues, understanding anything that we need to balance back into place to come.
It's not ideal. Trying to force people to play casually when they're good is not. It's not the way, man. These people just need to embrace that as humans we are competitive. They should understand it as like game developers. Like they want to be a top asymmetrical. Why? Because they're competitive. They want to be at the top. Like it's human condition. Like why do you want to get into this job? Like it's probably something you wanted to achieve. Like it's literally human condition, dude.
of fit what I've been talking about, but also
It's so
reading the
weird to
community
me.
feedback. There's a period of marination time that happens for any kind of multiplayer games update or launch that you need to be
Honeymoon
very
period.
careful about not going too quickly into it,
Agree.
because
Honeymoon period.
some of it is learning the game, learning the maps, learning the routes that you take and the locations that you go to collect.
What he's talking about here, ironically, is more of a competitive brain. Casual players, they don't really want to like learn the map and learn the routes and learn all this stuff. He's talking about how competitive minds are. It's so I just don't understand this this pushback on competitive. I don't understand it. It never works. It never works. Do you know a game where the devs are, and it has to be kind of similar to this, like an asymmetrical or some kind of multiplayer game where there is skill expression. Do you know a game where the devs have said we want it to be casual and it just turned out everyone just played casually? I don't think it exists. You have to play competitive, but you want to win. Are you competitive? Yeah. League of Legends. I don't think it exists. Even Fall Guys is competitive, yeah. Whatever. It just seems like once again wasted energy on something that it inevitably is just going to be a negative to it. Like what they need to do is they need to work out a way to get sweats against sweats and casual against casual. That's what they need to do, instead of like making it where the game's casual somehow, which doesn't exist. They need to like separate casual from sweats. That's the best way of doing it, and that's like a MMR system, ranking, blah blah blah. But yeah, whatever.
And until that's fully kind of in a general state for the population, you're not getting a real accurate representation of the balance. So
he's right about that.
Excuse me.
But once again, even talking about balance, isn't that competitive? Why do casuals care about balance? I don't understand. Like, what would casuals want? They just want to jump in, not understand what's strong, what's weak, and just be immersed and be scared, right? Like, why do they care about balance? Oh, dude, brain rot.
We're going to be watching closely. We're going to be making adjustments accordingly, and we're going to be keeping all feedback in mind as we do so. And I want to make sure any updates that we do make in the future off of this kind of initial balance pass and what we release is very much transparent as to why we're making the choices. Because
I just want to drop the control when my
so
eyes gets behind them.
Sorry, I've been talking a lot, so throat's not being kind to me, but there's so many different choices to make.
That's why I drink water.
And we want to make sure that as we're making those, it makes sense. It has a reason. It's doing something that's bringing us back to the.
It's not dead on arrival. It's just they're doing TCM thing where they're like, we want the game to be casual, and it isn't casual. So they're wasting like effort on trying to do something which is pretty much impossible. And I think honestly, the way TCM did its perks, can you remember? And Gun might have influenced them to do this. They made it where you couldn't get like specific stuff, right? You had to kind of choose. And then they went back on that, didn't they? Because people were annoyed that they had to keep like doing the blood webs over and over again, or whatever they were called. And that was a casual thing they added because they wanted to just be random. And then they had to actually go back on it because people are like, wait, I actually want a proper build. It'll be the same shit.
Core of what we're trying
people,
to accomplish.
People want
so
builds.
It's a very in-depth and nuanced thing, and the reason I'm saying these things is because the people that really
and
care.
Also if they put loads of like kind of blockage, right, like say you want this, right, and they block it, as human nature, once again, because we're so competitive, we'll try and find a way to get to it, right? We'll try and find a way. It's what we do. So they'll have loads of blocks here and we're trying to like go through their system, right? And that's once again what we did on TCM. TCM wanted it just random. But what we did is we just kept re-rolling until we got the right route, right?
I want you to know that we're ready to react.
Why don't they understand this?
A better infrastructure than any that we've had in the past for getting updates out and making sure that we're addressing things. We also have on Miles' side a much more robust community interaction process and gathering of stats and things that really help us as we're making those decisions, including all the back end data gathering and
Oh, well.
charts and all the boring data things that give us a sense of where things are at. Don't want to fully rely on those because this is video games and it's about there is some feel here. So there's a lot going on here, and I apologize for going long on this, but it's very important, including kind of what we'll talk about in this next question as well.
Yeah, no, it's very important, and we had a lot of conversations very early on in this project about, you know, that foundation and how do we build a foundation.
Obviously, I knew this, so him talking about the next question, they obviously know all the questions. They've probably rehearsed what they're going to say. I kind of knew that, but it's just obviously verified it by saying what the next question is and how it leads on to it.
That allows us to implement and adjust based on player feedback, based on how we feel. I don't want to say more rapidly because, as you touched on, we want to give appropriate time to these decisions and make sure these decisions are the right decisions for the game. But that foundation for us is so much stronger, and I think that's going to make...
What they're going to have to do as well, they think it's easy now, but they're going to have to, for a month maybe, almost ignore so much kind of like outcry. Mainly it will be from survivors because it usually is a role you need to play smart with, or you just die quickly, right? They're gonna have to ignore so much outcry. It'll be hard. It'll be hard. Let's see if they can do it.
The kind of relationship between how we update and message much more
because they should leave it a month.
So we're all very excited.
Unless there's
about,
some real game breaking
in the wild and having those conversations with
I doubt
the community.
well, they could be. If there's a game break thing, that's a different thing. But
and the next question, this is a big one. This is a big one in this genre.
Yeah, the last time.
Oh yeah, you got some yapping to do, mister. All right, this comes from Death Cube K3.
Okay, that's a good question.
How do you plan to combat the threat?
So, how was this linked to casual and competitive though? Do casual people not like getting into bully squads? I don't know.
Threat of bully squads in this game. Bully squads, Jordan. People love them. How are we stopping them? How are we shutting them down?
You know,
right.
I was curious about this one because the challenging part about building a sandbox is like there's not a wrong way to play it. Like you can't tell people, especially people that are playing online.
Legit. I haven't had any brainstorming. I've just thought of it today, just thinking of it. You could legit just have it when there's more survivors grouped together, Mize is stronger. You could legit just have that. So they can't just group together that way. I'm not saying that is the solution, but that's just without thinking about anything. Like you could literally just have that.
No, you can't play this way. It's all gotta work. So I took this one on myself very early on as we were designing the combat systems, as we were designing the character status effect systems and ability systems. There's an emphasis on understanding the solidity and the pacing, as well as the countermeasures that we need to be able to have in place to be able to give the players the opportunity to go all out and not restrict them from doing anything, but allowing Michael to rise to the occasion, quite literally in some circumstances. But the bullying thing is it's an unavoidable thing, but through our general infrastructure that we built of the game itself, the design practices we put in place around the game mode itself, implementation of NPCs, there are situations where there's a lot of NPCs that can exist. Like you can get cops and you can get people to follow you. So there was always going to be the fact that there's a lot to carve through for Michael, and in some circumstances a lot in one place. So we made sure that he was given abilities that counteract that. Reality tear was a big part of it. It's a very easy get out of jail free type of situation, but we also have certain measures that are in place.
That's not a good thing though. Reality tear, what is that? Is that him going to his phase? Because him getting out of the situation when they're all together won't do anything if they just stick together. That's the issue. Is it the year phase? Yeah, so that's nothing. That's a nothing burger because they could just stick together forever. So him being able to do that doesn't matter.
place around pacing out the downing. Like, I know we have Bloodthirst that kind of gives him the strength over time, but when we're talking about people that are like, in this game, they're going to be trying to detain him. We need to make sure that's a little bit more difficult than just it being a thing that you can do. It's got to have those steps of knocking him down so many times and making sure you have an authority figure, whether that be a Cop or Loomis, and then having to play a mini game in order to get him before he gets back up. There's layers there that happen. So making sure that's difficult to access relies on a very favorable RNG of what you're finding and what you're gathering, perks that you're getting. There's moments that'll open up and be possible, but we really want to deter that early on. When you're trying it, it's a risky proposition. Michael needs to be powerful in this game, and I'm excited to see the balance come out because
he hasn't said anything yet. He hasn't actually said anything. He said loads of stuff there, but he didn't actually say anything. If there's loads of people grouped together and they stick together forever, you can phase away. What do you do about it, though?
Death and losing to and dying is just part of the process here. Like, Michael Myers is just he's so strong, like, and that is an important aspect of truly fearing him. So all of these pieces that I've kind of described, as well as just a more robust combat system, the different melee things that we have in place to pace out and detect connections and make sure that we're pacing out some of the stunning and crowd control elements. There's a lot of things that need to kind of dissipate when you're constantly trying to smack against them versus getting them down and then fleeing. That's the right thing to do. If you try and stick around, the idea is that you're done for. So that's what we're going to lean into, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure all these numbers are in the right place, and people are going to try really hard to go against it. And of course, just because it's that type of experience, but I feel confident that we're ready to make this a lot more nuanced in how it's being done, and give Michael the power he deserves, so that he doesn't feel like he's worried to go against people. Like, that should never be the thing. A killer in this Michael Myers should be powerful and know that if I'm approaching this and I'm doing the right things, I'm going to get them. If they try and come and group up and attack me, I'm going to have things at my disposal to combat that and make sure I can take care of them or move on, go elsewhere. And
what thing? Can you not say one thing? He's not saying one thing, and then he's saying take care of them when I come back. But if they stick together for the whole match, then what? You can't just keep the disappearing and going away. That won't do anything. Explain why they wouldn't just stick together. That's the issue. Like, he's saying they've got stuff to deal with it, but he's not mentioning anything.
And clean up the rest of the objectives while they're screwing around. So I've taken this one on as something I really want to push on and get into a rounds on, go elsewhere and clean up the rest of the objectives while they're
right. So that is saying something ish there. So if they group together, you can go and clear up some objectives for Myers, because they can't obviously split as much, right? That was another idea we had, where you make it where they have to split to the objectives or they physically can't win. I don't know how they do that because I don't understand all the mechanics. But that's another thing you could do, where they have to split or they physically don't have enough time. But they've got quite a lot of time, so I feel like they probably could run around as a group. So maybe this is something here, what you're saying.
They're screwing around. So I've taken this one on as something I really want to push on and get into a good feeling place, and then be very, very focused on catching anything post-launch and making sure that we're aligning the balance of this entire game as well as this specific aspect to really
go kill NPCs if they stay together. What will that give you, though? Does it make you stronger than what NPCs you kill?
Embody a terrifying, powerful, and just ruthless Michael Myers.
Yeah, we want to ensure that Michael stays scary, and in a lot of our playtests.
So basically, we just have to trust them. We have to trust that when there's a group together and they have loads of really strong stuff, they're not indestructible. That's basically it, right?
You can tell who's playing Michael a bit more because it starts to get really scary when they hone in on that kit and they start leveraging all of his different abilities and setting up these moments and putting pressure and then using other abilities to get themselves out of sticky situations.
They keep
There's a
talking
lot
about
of
him getting
tools
out
at
of it.
Michael's disposal to make sure that he's unpredictable and he's scary and he's powerful. And yeah, we are very aware of the kind of, you know, the previous history with bully squads, and I think people are going to be pretty excited about Michael's
Okay.
kit.
Apparently they fixed it.
Jordan, we have one more question for today's stream before we get on out of here.
Did they
I
say
want to
they
give a
need
huge shout out
NPCs
to
to get
everyone who
waves if
hung
you
out
kill
live
NPCs
on
they lose?
twitch.tv/Ilphonic, everyone who submitted their questions.
If that's the case, you just going around killing NPCs, then do you just become like indestructible or something? I guess we'll have to see. They've said that they've looked into it. They hadn't explained exactly what they're going to do, and they kept talking about disappearing and coming back, which doesn't make sense if they stick together. So that's not a solution. But they've said that they fixed it. You know, they've said like if loads of people are grouped together and they just keep in the group, you can win them somehow. So we have to take the word for it. They didn't mention how. But they said that they've fixed it. So
Again, everyone who's just been sharing all this energy
they just
and
said that
excitement for this game,
you can
because
deal with
I
it.
think our team is very excited about what we're working on, and we need to get back to work on getting this thing ready to rock for launch. Do you have any parting words with our community before we run this last question?
Oh,
Excited for this last one. I mean, yeah, I've
Sorry
kind of
for this
touched on
last one, I
everything,
said.
but I'm excited. We're heads down over here, really doing everything we can to make sure that what launches is going to be just a really fun experience on so many different levels, and give people a lot to explore and try to understand and unpack. There's so much. It's tough to cover it all, and I know it sounds like we're
Is that
kind of
Evil
running
Dead?
around on different things, but there's a lot here to process.
This is Ilphonics, yeah.
Just I'm so excited for seeing people actually interacting, hearing the procs chat go off, like hearing people just have fun killing each
Ilphonic.
other. It's just you can't.
so because of Ghostbusters,
I
survivors
can't
save
put words to
NPCs.
kind
Killer
of
will be
how
weak if
that's
that
gonna feel when we
happens.
finally get there. So I'm excited.
Yes,
And
and
thank you
I see a
everyone
lot of
for seeing that the type of gameplay.
What was
we're
this last
building
question?
and getting excited and knowing the things that we're going to be able to do,
Right
and
at the
things you
end.
will be able to do in this game. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and as Jordan touched on, I see some people in the chat asking about this. Yes, proximity chat will be in this game. We're very excited about
saw
its
that.
implementation. We know it's a fan favorite feature, and so that will be available.
Yep.
And now, Jordan, our final question comes from Snow S54, and they ask, will Michael Myers be able to drive cars / vehicles in Halloween the
I think I've
game?
heard this.
And for this one, we are just going to let the clip do the talking for us. Take care, everyone. Have a good afternoon, and we'll catch you next time.
All day, night.
Goodbye.
It's funny. All right, well, there you go. Big reaction as expected. Wow, it was. Oh no, it's 2 hours. That's usual. I knew it would be about that.